I learned how to trim out door casings, which there's a ton of math involved with. Lots of 45-degree cuts. I will show you guys pictures on that when we get to geometry, because it's all geometry, and we're still doing kind of algebra type stuff right now. So, plan books. I do, but later, because I only have a few minutes to teach, and I got more time to chat with you at lunch and stuff like that. Notice, we're headed into quarter 2. Homework is going to get collected more quickly. So, guys, I don't know if people got their plan book already filled all the way in, but on Wednesday, we're turning in 311 and 312. So, in your plan book, I'll show you what I did in my plan book, and you might do the same in yours. In your plan book, because that's a little bit different now that we're in quarter 2, you might kind of like alert yourself to this and say like, hey, these two are due on Wednesday, right? Put like a star there on Tuesday. Now I'm giving you both of them today, right? They're connected, they're attached, stapled. But instead of like giving you 2 days to get it done, we're going to try to get it done in 1 day because we should be doing the homework the night it's assigned. So make yourself a little note that Wednesday we're having a homework collection and Friday we're having a homework collection. I'm trying to help people keep from getting behind. Cheetah. Yeah, if you have it. I only have 311 and 312 to give you today, but tomorrow I'll have the rest of the copies back and made. So yeah, if you have stuff, you can work ahead. But only if you're caught up in other classes, right? All you need out is a piece of graph paper. So once your plan book is good and happy and filled in, get out a piece of graph paper. Yeah. Yeah, so great question from Vanessa. Guys, as you get into math, you'll see some of you have missings for me. Like quarter 2, chapter 2, because you didn't turn in the homework last week. So if you have any chapter 2, closure included, any chapter 2 homework should be out of your binder, in my bin, unless you just got it back right now. So let's do a quick little binder reset, right? I think this is a pretty good moment to do a binder reset. Everyone grab your math binder. Grab your math binder. Grab your math binder, because I'll go ahead and give you tonight's homework. Everyone get out your math binder. Everyone get out your math binder. I can individually invite you if I need to. Reminder, and double check your tabs, and if we need to get more Post-its, we can. The tabs we should have are current work, old/graded work, and extra paper, and then reference if you decided to make a reference section. Like my multiplication tables in my reference section. In your current section, you should have nothing right now. You should have nothing in your current work section because you don't have the current chapter work. So that can go to reference if you want. Yeah, everyone check your current work section. It should be empty right now. If you have ungraded papers from chapter 2, they should be turned in. If you have ungraded work from chapter 2, it should be turned in. So now this is going to go in your current work section. Just stick it in. Unless you have an actual question, like if you didn't turn it in, just stick it in the bank. It's okay if it's late. Some of us were absent, some of us were late. Huh? No resource pages are yours. This goes in current work. This is now our new current work. Current work. If you have resource pages, stick those in your reference section. They can probably get recycled eventually. The paper I'm giving you should go in current work, and that should be the only thing in there. This is the only piece of current work. Hey, I didn't forget you guys. Yeah. So Post-it notes are up in that plastic bin on top of my colored pencils in the "What's Mine is Yours" section. You finding them? So guys, you can always use anything of mine that you want, especially right up here. There's Post-it notes and pencils, and even some highlighters. You should have your own highlighters. You're like, you've got 15 colors of pen. Any questions on our binder? Because guys, as other teachers have been telling you, we're going to be doing binder checks and plan book checks to make sure that we're all keeping ourselves organized. The best thing you can do to stay on top of work is stay organized. All right, we're all good? Now put that away because we don't need your homework out. You just need graph paper out. You just need graph paper out. We are going to head our graph paper 3.1.1 grouping expressions. Please write that on the top of your graph paper. 3.1.1 new sheet. Let's get a new sheet. We're in a new chapter. Get a new sheet. So this would be okay if we have written down what we need written down. I have a pencil that I can give you. You know I'm anti-pen. Don't ask me for a pen. The only pens I have are for grading. So find something to write with, Lucas. You got to figure it out. If you need a pencil, there are plenty of pencils up here. So, grouping expressions. Now, the fancy word, if we wanted to put the fancy word on this, is arithmetic operations. We're just talking about what groups with what. So, do we remember Cecil? Cecil, our tightrope walker, right? Cecil from the circus. Cecil might be crazy. So, this is problem 3-1. So, guys, if you want to just put like a number 1 on your paper, or if you want to put 3-1, I don't care what you write, but we're all going to take really good notes. Now that we're moving into quarter 2, we're getting a little bit older, we've done 7th grade math, we're going to stop hiding, right? Like, guys, hiding doesn't work. This classroom's too small. I know when you're not writing things down. I try to give you time to do it on your own before I have to like call you out by name. But like, so we're all going to number our paper, number 1. And I want you to write down 4 times 2.5 plus 1. I want you to write 4 times 2.5 plus 1. So there's a multiplication dot here. I just didn't have a multiplication dot for that. And here's how we would say it, right? Our verbal is when you would just speak it, right? Like 4 times 2.5 plus 1. And then our numerical, you don't have to write all these words. So we have verbal expressions and numerical expressions. Now technically, my verbal, I should have written out F-O-U-R for 4, but like 2 and 5/10, I really didn't want to write out 2 and 5/10, so I took a shortcut and I just put numbers up here. Talk with your team about what does this equal? What does 4 times 2.5 plus 1 equal? Go ahead. Nope. No calculators. Unnecessary. Then draw it for me. Then draw it like we've been drawing Cecil's movements. Then draw it. Support your answer with a drawing. Any groups having a disagreement? We're all getting along on a Monday morning. Draw it. So guys, when we draw Cecil's movements, right? So is my first movement a movement of 4? Like a length of, like, how am I going to draw this? Who can help me? I can get out random cards, but John? 2.5 John is saying so this is going to be the number of times. So the movement is 2.5. So John says go 2.5. And you said do that how many times? I love being a teacher and getting to cheat with certain things, like cloning stuff instead of drawing it. Look at my perfect equal movements of 2.5. So John said do 4 2.5s. Do I have anything else I need to do? And then I do 1. Cecil's boss comes up to him, though. Says, Cecil, dude, you're going to die. And Cecil's like, okay, you're dramatic. Take it back a step. No, and Cecil's boss is like, for real, dude, if you do this, you don't make it to the platform. Right? He's walking a tightrope, right? So if you do this, you don't make it to the platform. You misunderstood what I told you to do. And Cecil's like, well, dude, you said 4 times 2.5 plus 1. His boss said, no, that's not what I meant. Talk with your team about how could we get a different answer here? What else could Cecil's boss have actually meant for him to do? Chat with each other. I should get out cards. What's a Monday without random cards?
Oh, I know what it is. It's called better.
Ooh, a little bit of shade there. I wonder if your card is just going to magically find its way to the top since you're throwing out shade. No, true shuffle. Isabella, you got an idea of how Cecil's boss meant something different? No, that's totally fine. 9 of spades. Layla, graph. You got an idea of what his boss maybe meant instead? Mia? What do you mean parentheses maybe? Yeah, I mean, I can draw them if you want, but you can come up. I don't care. It's on 10, so you should be good to go. Oh, and I'm going to draw those a little bit bigger because I didn't realize I'm going to thicken this up. Mia says, if there are parentheses here, if the boss actually meant to say 4 times, and then pause, 2.5 plus 1. Oh, the boss meant for this to be grouped together. So if we draw that, that's actually 2.5 and 1 more. And we do that 4 times. Again, I'm going to cheat because I'm a teacher. You're right. Go to college for a few years. Is that the same length? No. What the length of our first one? I think almost everyone got our first one equaled 11, but now we're essentially doing like 3.5 every move, and that equals 14. Guys, did I change the numbers I'm working with? Did I change the order that they're written? No, I didn't change the order. Mia just came up and put parentheses around it, but they stayed in the same order. Did I change how it said? Not really. Like maybe where my pause was. Give me your eyes. Speaking math. Speaking math is extremely dangerous. It's really easy to make mistakes when speaking math. This is why we write down math in numerical forms. And we use parentheses to group. So, yeah, I know this is real bright now. Everyone on your paper put parentheses. We group. Other options, though, what if I don't want to use parentheses? Are there other options? Any other symbols that group? Think about the keyboard. What other things are on the keyboard that says I start this, I end this? Ooh, brackets. Brackets do the same thing. There's another one that we've talked about a little bit, but it actually groups numbers together and says, like, look at this first, deal with this, and then you can move on. It's like brackets, but there's little pieces missing. No, not, those are fancy brackets. We don't use those yet. So, hang on. What they're asking about, don't write this, are these things. And we use those later in math, but we're not using them yet. We use those for sets, when we get into set notation. What are these bars? Just say it. Absolute value. Absolute value also groups things. I can't write. So, parentheses, brackets, absolute value bars, all of these things group stuff. But here's the tricky thing about parentheses. What if I just have a number in parentheses? Like, sorry, the ebook is down. I cannot access the CPM online stuff. So like 6.48. Is there anything to do? Go ahead and write this down. This is actually number 2. If you want a number on your paper, this is 3-2. Whoa, I don't know what I'm doing. Is there anything to do inside those parentheses? No. It's just keeping the number together. Maybe it was 6 plus 0.48. Who knows? This, there's nothing to do. But what does it tell me to do if I now put a 2 right in front of it? Multiply, even if we don't show it. Guys, you do not have to write that multiplication symbol. Even if we don't show it, that says multiply. So, Cecil's been told, all right, we're going to do 2 moves of 6.48, but you're going to start your show. You're going to start your show with 8. So, go ahead with your group. Do this. Where does Cecil end if this is his show now? A move of 8 and 2 moves of 6.48. A move of 8 and 2 moves of 6.48. Vanessa, you got any thoughts about what I wrote up here? No thoughts? Aiden, thoughts about what's up here? So remember, on last problem, one of the options was going to kill Cecil. So unless we want Cecil to end his career in tightrope walking, we'll phrase it that way, there's really only one answer that gets him where he's supposed to be. Am I supposed to add, hey, by the way, if you're writing down what I have written down, please don't. Please don't. Am I supposed to add the 8 and the 2 and get... We said... Guys, give me your eyes up here if you need. We said these, this, I don't know, it's 2 numbers, but it's going to turn into... That's 2 movements. That's 2 things. He starts his... We don't add these. This is wrong. This is terrible. Not correct. We do the move of 8 and then do 2 moves of 6.48. But mathematically... Okay, so we're going to say we do a move of 8. But there's nothing to do with it right now. So if I just drop it down, I do my move of 8. I do my little turn on the catwalk. On the catwalk, yeah, on the catwalk. How far are 2 moves of 6.48? 12.96. Then if we look at the 8 coming ahead of it, where do we end up?
13.04.
I think it's 20.96. Yeah, double check our math if that's not what you got. So we need to look at the multiple moves before we do addition, because guys, did I still have this 2? No, this 2 never gets added. This 2 is part of multiplication. All right, here's another one. Okay, ready? So squiggly line if you want. This is still problem 2. This is still problem 2. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to make a new slide. It's still problem 2. What about 2 plus... Try that. Now, if you really want a calculator, your group can have 1. Your group can have 1 calculator. You gotta share answers with each other. Your group can have 1. If you really want to be specific, this is 2B. And then if you get B done, all 3 of these use the same numbers. Use a 2, and an 8, and a 6.48. All 3 of these use the same numbers. It's tempting to add the 2 and the 8 first in blue. Blue is B. It's tempting, but that is not what we do. It's tempting to add these first, but we know we don't do that. We got to think about what is. All right, probably somebody with a calculator. What is 8 times 6.48?
51.84.
Does anyone not know how we got 51.84 from doing 8 times 6.48? Because a number right against parentheses tells you how many you have, so we multiply, right? How many we multiply. So then we add the 2, and we get 53.84. Now C uses the same numbers, but it the parentheses moved. Try to see if you haven't yet. The parentheses moved. Family feud going on over here, sounds like. Make sure that we're getting everything written down correctly, like exactly how it is up on the screen. Because guys, if you write it down differently, it doesn't make sense. Nice. Even without a calculator. Whoa! There's no need for that. Just throwing out bad words just because.
You said that 5 times.
Deekshita, that was ironic. What do I do first here?
Add 8 plus 2.
We add the 8 and the 2, and we get 10.
Only this time because it's parentheses.
Only because the parentheses said, hey, look at me first. The parentheses are like your little brother that's always saying, Mom, 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 Mom. It wants the attention first, right? And then your mom's like, what? And your brother's like, I forgot. Right? So, then, times, guys, I draw the dot. You don't have to. I draw the dot to remind me. Times 6.48. And multiplication by 10 is nice. Deekshita, you use the bad word. Why is this nice?
Because you can move the decimal point to one number.
Yeah, a multiplication by 10 just bumps over your decimal point one place. So that's why Deekshita used the bad word there. It's nice. I don't know that I would say it's easy.
How about not?
Yeah, I'd say it's easier than like multiplication by 9 or something. All right, you ready for another one? All right, hold on though. This one has no parentheses. All right, number your paper. This is 3, 3. Unlike a 2, 2, I'm not sure what a 3, 3 is used for. 5 plus 3 times 4 plus 2. What is this actually saying? You could draw it? If we wanted to draw it using like the plus and minus tiles, right? I don't think we need any negative tiles here. If you were going to add parentheses to this, where would you put parentheses? Talk with your team. Talk with your team. If you're going to fix this, make it better, where would you put parentheses in this group? Whoa! No need for that.
Stop it! I need it. Unnecessarily. No. Stop it. No.
So, I'm not going to ask you to draw it, but if I draw it, we got 5. What word do I use for the plus that not plus? What word do I use? And, right? So 5 and 3 times 4. How do I say this nicer without using the word times? Like 3 something 4. 3, like, it's like 3 groups, right? Like 3 of 4, right? We said of is that word that we use for multiplication, but 3 of 4 says 3 of 4, right? 3 groups of 4 and 2. Okay, so I really have 5 and, what do I really have here? 12 and 2. So, Layla, we don't have, yeah, where would I add parentheses up here if I was going to? Yeah, if you wanted to add parentheses into this problem to make it look a little nicer. Now we still need this plus sign, right? So it's still going to be 5 plus, and then plus 2 after. But we could add some parentheses and clean that up. I got more for you. You got to work with your group because I'm going to give you 4 and see how well. I got one more before we move on to that, actually. This is still 3-3 for the moment. This is still 3-3. I should just take the paper out. What if I give you this? I would encourage you to add parentheses if you want to clean it up. What about this? Now, actually, what I'm teaching you here, you can. I need everyone to write this down, please. Number, and you can use the hashtag if you want, number of terms. And yes, English is tough because terms means a lot of things. Like, we just finished the first term of our school year. Terms are like and, right? Like, I have this, and, like, my name is Micah and Joseph and Hudson. I have 3 names, right? First, middle, last. Some of us have 4, some have, like... So terms in math, anytime we see the and, it breaks up terms. And guys, remember, subtraction is addition, pretty much. So, is this subtraction? No, this is a negative number. Right? Remember, this is negative 2. This is not subtraction. So I want you to talk with your group. How many terms are up here? If the plus breaks things up, how many terms are up here? Yeah, I don't know if you need to on this one because we don't have decimals. Yeah, use my check. Carmen, do you want to make a guess of how many terms are up here? No, thank you. Franco? That may be the answer, but we're looking for how many terms. You're right, that's the answer. Antonella, can you tell me how many terms? You're close. All right, give me your eyes up here. Give me your eyes up here. Every time we would have to like lift in our speaking and like say and. All right, that splits our terms. So we have 4 times 5 and. So guys, when we first, I'm trying to teach this differently than I used to. If you're going to add in parentheses, you probably would have put parentheses here. This is term number 1. This is not division, I'm just labeling it. This is term 1. It's the first thing because the and, the addition, splits things up. So then, what's term number 2? Just 1. This is term 2. What's term number 3? This whole thing, right? 3 times negative 2. That's term 3. So then, how many terms do we have total? And here's why. As you start to solve the problem, make each term one number. What is 4 times 5 if I make it one number? 20. And 1, it's already good. Term 3, I need to make into one number. Negative 6. I keep it in parentheses because it's a negative. I think it's nicer that way. And then 4th term is fine.
The 2 6s cancel.
Ooh, the 2 6s, 2 6s, you're right. 6 and opposite 6 if we say it correctly. So these cancel out. That's a 0. And like what Franco told us, we get 21. Because negative 6 and positive 6 canceled each other out. Here, Antonella, I'm going to write the next couple, and then I can come look at your work if you want. Any other questions on this one? Aside from we're going to make sure Antonella knows what's up. All right, I got a couple more challenges for you. This is number 4 now. If you want to label it number 4. If we ask how many terms are up here, if we asked how many terms are there? 3 to start, and then we want to simplify it all the way down to 1. So we have 3 terms to start, and we want to go all the way to 1 single term. I'm going to write down B as well. Eve, what's a good way to start with my purple one up here? What would you put together first? Totally fine. John, what would you put together first in A?
I was going to do the whole numbers, but then I was going to, are we counting the terms or just trying to...
So we know there's 3 terms to start. Now then we want to simplify it. We want to start putting stuff together.
What I was doing right now was I was going to add the 7, 2, and the 3.
Ooh, careful, negative 3. Yeah, just make sure you say it, right? Speaking math is dangerous, right? Exactly.
That would make sense.
Yeah, this is why I keep warning you guys, speaking math is dangerous. Now, John's right. We could do 7 plus 2, and then subtract away the 3. But my favorite thing is, you know, my good guys, bad guys that I've kind of mentioned. Put good guys with good guys if you want. So I'm just going to put these numbers together first. 9.59 plus negative 3.84. Yeah, now that's a little tricky just because the decimal values. So there's going to be some borrowing involved. Or grab your calculator if you want. Yeah, there were 3 terms. What's our answer going to be, positive or negative? Positive. We know it's going to be positive, so our positive is bigger. For the sake of time, I'm going to keep moving. In B, Farah, what would we do first here in blue? You're fine. Do you want to make a guess, or do you want me to skip? Vincent, what would we do first in blue? Here, I'll erase this because it looks a little cluttered. Would you add or multiply?
I would multiply 2.1 times 3.
Yeah, that's because that's the right move. We want to, and if you wanted to add parentheses, as we could add parentheses right here saying, hey, do that first. Like, mom, 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 mom. Right here, do that first, right? 7.8 negative 3 times 2.1 negative 6.3. Yeah, good guy, bad guy. Good guy's going to win, but not by a lot.
Wait, this feels like pentos.
Sus, right? Very, very sus. I got a challenge for you to even take with you, because we only got like 2 minutes left. Hold on, listen to my directions before you write it down. If this problem has no parentheses to start, but you're allowed to add whatever parentheses you want, my question for you, how many answers? Like, how many different possible answers could you make by putting in as many parentheses as you want? You can put them wherever you want. Literally, you can put your parentheses wherever you want. Go ahead and write that down, and we'll start with that as like our warm-up problem tomorrow. How many different answers could you get? What I'm trying to convince you of is that parentheses are really important. Because with no parentheses, this could be multiple, like, you can get multiple answers. I guarantee you there are at least 2 different answers I can make by moving around parentheses. Add whatever parentheses you want. All right, guys, that is all the time we have. If you are heading out to language arts, have a wonderful rest of your Monday. I don't know when I'll get your test graded. I left them here over the weekend by accident, so I will get to them as soon as I can. Look, sometimes things happen. All right, have a good day, guys. Me? Yeah, we were talking about it when you came in. I learned how to do door casings because I replaced the doors in my house. So the casings are the things that go on the front and the back so you can't see into your wall.
My dad just takes guesses at those.
He just what?